Everyone is talking about how energy rates are going up drastically. And when you live in Phoenix with 300 days of sunshine and a slogan that is the Valley of the Sun, you would think that everyone should have solar, right? Or should they? I mean, I love to think about not having an electric bill, especially in the summer. And does solar have an impact on your house when you're selling it? To start, we have to look at the overall cost of solar to put on your house. Now, this really will come down to the size of your house. And for this example, we're going to look at a 2,000 square foot house, which is just a little bit larger than the average size house here in the Phoenix area. As you can see from this article in Fixer.com, it is going to range in price anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000. Huge spread, I know. I'll explain. Now, before I get to that, the next decision you'll have to make is whether you're going to buy your solar panels or lease them. Now, if you lease them, they will likely be on a 20-year lease with an escalating lease payment. What is that, you ask? That means that every year your lease payment goes up. Now, the other big thing you need to know about leasing a solar system with a payment is that a lot of these solar companies actually put a lien on your house until that payment is paid off. Many people don't read the fine print about that. Now, I'd really like to know, did that happen to you? Do you know anybody that happened to? And if you've got solar in your house, how's your experience been? Post it in the comments down below. I'm really curious. Okay, so now back to the huge price range. This really comes down to how many panels you put on your house. Well, you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's easy. I just won't put as many panels on my house. Then it'll be less expensive. Not so fast. When you lower the number of panels you have on your house, you lower the amount of energy that your panels are actually producing for you. What does that mean? You're still going to have a bill. So let's just take a look at that for a minute. So let's just say that you decide to put a smaller number of panels on your house and you've decided to go with a leased system. When you average your electric bill through the year, you are going to be averaging about $128 a month. In the summer months, you're going to be looking at about $450 on the average every month during the summertime. Now, let's face it, the summertime bills are the reason you're getting solar to begin with. Nobody wants an over $450 bill for their electric bill in the summertime. So you have reduced your monthly payment of the $450 to maybe half to $225, but you still have a lease payment of about $150 to $250 depending on where you are in your 20-year lease. So in looking at those numbers, on the high end, you could save about $150 overall. But when you really look at it, you could be paying more than your $450 electric bill. And don't forget, that lease payment doesn't go away. You're paying that lease payment all year long. So for this scenario, I don't know that that's worth it. Now, when you have a setup like this, what they call it is they call it peak shaving. What that means is that you're taking the energy that you're getting from your solar system and that energy is being utilized during the peak hours or the most expensive time during the day for energy costs. What you don't get with that type of a system is you don't get any banked credit over time to make your bill go away. Your system just isn't producing enough energy for your house and your electric usage. Now let's say you put enough panels on your house to cover your electric bill. You can take the same scenario we just talked about, but increase your lease payment because you're going to have more solar panels. And for a little while, you're probably going to be paying more in solar than you did in electricity. This is all because you just haven't built up enough energy credit yet. Okay, now let's say you paid for all the solar panels outright and you put enough solar panels on your house to cover your entire electric bill. What would that look like? Well, you would be looking at anywhere from $25,000 to about $40,000 out of pocket. How long would you need to stay in the house to recoup those costs? You would likely be looking at 8 to 10 years or longer. If you make this decision, the next decision you have to make is, are you going to go with a company that lets you buy the panels outright? Or are you going to go with a company where you lease the system, but you pay the lease in full upfront? If you go the leased route, the company is still responsible for maintaining all those panels. If anything goes wrong, they have a warranty for them. They will come out, they will fix them or replace them and take care of it for you. If you go the fully purchased route, if there's any maintenance required, that's going to be on you. Okay, now if you're watching this and you're saying, but wait, there's incentives, you forgot to talk about that. You're saying that it's so expensive. You're right. There are some incentives out there right now that can reduce the cost, but it doesn't make the cost go away. So right now, I believe it's about 26% in 2023. They're talking about reducing that to 24%. And in 2024, they're saying that there will be no more incentives. So if solar is on your radar, I would look into it sooner rather than later and take advantage of any of these incentives. I mean, a savings is a savings. Now, because of these incentives, don't be surprised if your phone starts ringing trying to sell you solar, or if you get that knock on the door and you actually have somebody at your door trying to sell you solar. I'm not sure why. Solar is the only company that I know of that still does door-to-door sales. So what continues to go down is the amount that APS will actually pay you back for the solar that goes into their grid. Originally, they had an agreement called net metering. What that meant was that they paid 1 for 1. So whatever APS was charging for electricity, that's what they would pay you back for any of the electricity that you would put back into their grid. However, that changed in 2016. Ever since then, APS has been changing the amount that they will pay customers back for the solar and energy that they put back into the APS grid. What is it right now, you ask? Well, right now, APS is paying solar customers 0.09 cents per kilowatt hour. What do they charge? 12 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, if you own your system or have a fully paid off leased system, what you will find is that in year 1, your bills will be significantly lower, but you will still have bills, especially in the summertime. What will happen then is that in year 2, because in the spring and in the fall, that all that energy still gets pushed into the grid, and that's where your credits start to build up. So by year 2 in the summer, you will probably have no bill, maybe 1 or 2 months, and they will still be significantly lower. By year 3, you will likely have no bills at all. It does take time for that energy and the credits to kind of build up in your system. My parents had a system that was very similar to this. And by year about 3, on their APS bill, I saw a $600 credit that they had back from APS. And this was before the summertime. So they had a lot of energy to still use during the summer. So this scenario is great. You have a paid off solar system, you have 0 to non-existent electric bills, and you want to sell your house now. Nothing can go wrong, right? Spoiler alert, it doesn't always work out that way. The reality is, if you have a leased solar system on your home with monthly payments, and you have a buyer that is getting a loan to buy your home, they not only have to qualify for the loan payment for the home, they have to qualify for the solar payment. And sometimes they cannot qualify for both. The additional debt that the solar system adds to that loan just kicks them out. They cannot qualify. I have seen buyers unable to purchase a home with a leased solar system on it because they just simply can't qualify for both payments. Now, one of the other big mistakes that will blow up your deal faster than anything is when you put solar on your house and you do not take into consideration the condition or age of your roof. Did your roof need to be redone before you put your solar panels up there? If your roof was not redone before you put your solar panels up there and it needs to be replaced, having those solar panels up there and doing the replacement adds exponential cost to having your roof replaced. Why? Because roofers will not touch solar panels. So what you have to do is you have to have the solar company come out, remove the panels, have the roofers replace the roof, have the solar company come back out, put the solar panels back on the roof, and then you're done. I just had a buyer in this exact scenario. It was going to cost my buyer $35,000 to replace the roof just because the solar system was already on the roof and the roof needed to be replaced. This becomes a huge expense for buyers, and sellers often don't want to pay for that. I have seen more contracts cancel for this alone when it comes to solar. I have even seen buyers ask the seller to just remove the solar altogether, whether the roof needs to be redone or not. They say, I just don't want the payment. I love the house. I can't afford the payment. Just have the solar removed and we'll move forward with the purchase on the house. I don't know of one seller that has agreed to do this, by the way. Another issue that I have seen is when the solar company is no longer in business. Yikes. Now, it all depends on if the solar company that went out of business has made further arrangements for a new company to take over their maintenance agreements with the homes that have solar on it. But if you don't know who that is, who do you go to? How do you find out? It becomes a really big problem. Now, the real big debate comes when you want to quantify how much solar adds to the value of a home. And here's what I'm going to tell you from my experience. And you might not like it. It's not much, if at all. The only way I see solar adding any value to a home is if the seller put on a new roof if it was needed before they put on solar. When they put on the solar, they paid it off in full and they put on enough solar panels so that there is no bill anymore. This is the only way I see solar even being worth it or adding any value to a home, but I'm just going to tell you it's not that much value. And by the way, this is the only way that I've seen solar not become an issue when selling a home. So if you're thinking about putting solar on your house, please make sure you think about all of these issues. I know putting on a new roof, if needed, is a substantial cost and probably one of the least sexy home improvements that you can do. But this, I promise you, will save you tons of time and headache in the long run and potentially save you money. Because if you've got to take those off to replace the roof and put them back on for the buyer to help keep the deal together, you just spent a lot more money than you needed to. So if you can do what I just suggested, then I would go for it with solar. I think it's great. I would love to not have a bill. If you can't do it, then I'd pass on it. I hope this information was helpful. If I can help with anything else, please feel free to reach out. All my contact information is down below. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.